What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while. Today we're back at the shop and we're gonna be working on the S13. So originally it had an SR20, just 300 horsepower, nothing crazy. But over the winter we want to put the 2JZ in this and do it not too expensive. Well, I'll try to run you through a little bit. Like, it kind of started as not expensive, but it didn't work that well. But I'll try to show you how to do it in an expensive way and a not so expensive way. So you'll be able to decide which route is better for you. And I'm not saying I'm doing it expensive or cheap. I'm a little bit in the middle, but at least you'll have a little bit of an idea of how much it costs to do it in an S chassis like this. This is pretty much the bulk of the parts that I'm gonna use. I have a lot of parts to still order, but a lot of them are already here. I'll get those down from the shelf here and we'll put them on the table and have a look at them. Alright, I suck. I'm an idiot. I knew it was out of focus, but I kept recording and it turned out like shit, so I'm gonna do it again. So this is a 2JZ G engine, like I said before. So this is a cheaper way to get into a JZ, and I always wanted to have a JZ in my S13, so this is how I'm gonna do it. And we're gonna couple it with a GS6-53BZ, which is a ZF transmission that you would find in a BMW 335i and many other cars from BMW. They're known to be very strong, so hopefully that's gonna work very well. The gear ratio is pretty good for my dips, but this is not very conventional to what other people usually do. They would usually go with a swap that's more popular, like CD009, which is a Nissan like 350Z G35 transmission, which are quite a bit strong, and they're really nice. They're nice 6 speeds, or they will go with the normal R154. I believe they came in Toyota Supra, the manual one, but somebody can correct me on that. But this is all I want to do it, because those transmission feels very nice and they're very strong. So we have the 2JZ GE, the GS6-53, and we have the 2JZ GT head, as this doesn't come with a cam sensor. So this have already holes for it, and I got a little present from the friends at Ishiban Engineering. They gave me some 272 HKS cam to wake it up pretty good. So this is the whole setup. Like I said before, I'm not a pro. I'm gonna get a lot of help from my good friend Ophir, which has the JZ E46 that you would know like as Drift Dracula. But yeah, this is the general of the build. I strongly advise that you do your own research if you're gonna jump into a build like this, because you'll see, we'll keep track of how much everything costs, and we'll try to find some better ways to do it, and maybe not just better, maybe like more cost-effective ways. Or if you wanted to overbuild it, how to do it. It's not a very money-friendly swap nowadays because of all the price that's gone up, but we'll see what we can do. So I put some nicer lights there with better lumens. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not very good with lights, but as I said, it's also a new camera, so we're not exactly sure how it works, but. So here we have the 2JZ GE, which I got for very cheap. This one I believe was $750. Came full, but the oil pan was the proper front sump, because on S13 you'll need a front sump to. We'll go on eBay and see how much would it actually cost you if you were to buy it from a second hand. As I said, that head right now is bogus because we have a GT head, which already has the hole for the cam signal, and we also have the BMW, oh I keep saying BMW, it's a ZF 6-speed, so the code name for this one is GS6-53BZ. The BZ stands for gas, so if you were to get a DZ, I believe, it would be a diesel gearbox, because those 3 series came in a gasser and diesel, but diesel have a shorter gear ratio because of shorter RPMs. So you got to keep in mind that this was bought 2 years ago and the price have drastically changed. Here we have the Let me see if I can focus better. We have the 2JZ GT head that came from Ishiban Engineering. I'll link their website on the description. And came with the goodies. The goodies are down. I can't even see because of the lights. The HKS-272 cams. So those are very, very light in the GDM world. They're kind of like the BC 272s, but with a nicer, less aggressive spike. The thing is, I wasn't planning on making that much power at first. So my first goal was 400 to the wheel, and with possibility of going to 450 if I wanted to. And those will make this quite easier than I expected. We'll need some better springs, so it's going to be the BC with titanium retainer. But a way you could have done it if you wanted to do it cheaper, because those cams are expensive. I thankfully didn't pay for them. You could put the GE cams as they have bigger lift over the stock GTE cam, and you'd push a little bit more power. It's not drastic, but it's quite a good difference. You have the cam sensor holes for them, so you can put the sensor on in them to get your cam position, because those, like I said, came distributor, so they don't have all that fancy stuff. They're gear driven. Right next to it, we come with the PMC adapter kit. Well, the kit is half of it is there and the other half is right there. So as you can see, this is a 2JZ to N54 N55 adapter plate from PMC Motorsports. This would be your sandwich plate that would go in between your transmission and your engine. And right over here we have the beautiful flywheel that comes with it. So if you want to run those kits, what PMC tells you is that you need to run the factory style clutch pack that comes for your transmission. So mine come from a 335i N54, which you can see if you go on here. If you enter that code, this one, if I am not mistaken, or it might be this one, but you can do the googling for yourself and you'll see exactly what it came out of. And mine came from a 335i N54 car. So this is a clutch from our buddies at Clutch Masters. That's their FX400, so it should be good around 515 to 550 foot-pounds, which comes with the fork, the Jesus Christ, I can think about it now, the alignment tool and the bearing. And if we keep moving on that table, so those are the excessive mount for Toyota 2JZ to Nissan S chassis, S13 specifically, and that bolts up to your subframe, and those bolts up to your engine block, and to those. Next up we have the shifter. This is another beautiful piece by PMC. At the base, this shifter is for a BMW E36, so all those bolts are supposed to bolt to your floor where your shifter will be. The point of this is we'll make the shifter becomes a floor mount shifter, because if you look at the BMW ZF, you can see this is your shifter linkage, and there would be a bushing there that would hold this. So the idea behind it is to get rid of this piece right there, which is the mount, and replace it with this. So it's a solid chassis mount shifter. So those four holes, if you know S chassis, you'll recognize them as they are their shift boot bolt. And if you flip it, you will find that swivel piece. So this will attach to, and this. You will get rid of that whole mount. And lastly, we have another piece from our friends at Clutch Master. It's called their flow control valve, the FCV2000. So this bad boy, we run it also in this car. As great as they are, the axles are pretty weak. So we run this to try to soften the blow on the old drivetrain. Alright, so what do we have so far? So we started with the 2JZ GE for $750. You can still find them for this price. This is a pretty regular price for those. And I bought the GS6 for $500 2 years ago, which is not right anymore. Those will run you to $1,000 to $1,500 nowadays. So I'll change the price right there to, let's put it at $1,250 just to be in the middle. What else did we buy? I bought a 2JZ GE head, $1,300. Let's say, give or take. In this, there is the shipping and handling cost, so it's probably closer to $1,500 all said and done. What's another way you could have done it? You could have bought the trigger kit, which last time I checked was around $1,200. So not a big saving. What else? Okay, so also for the American viewers, that this is all in Canadian money. So this is all in broke money. But we have bought the PMC kit going for $13.50 right now. This is without tax and shipping and handling. But I didn't buy the clutch kit. If you bought the clutch kit with it, it would run you to $1,700. So there's different stage with PMC. For me, it makes more sense to go with Clutch Masters as we have a relationship with them and their clutch is way higher end than PMC is. So I didn't go that route, but if you didn't and you're alright with a slightly weaker clutch, probably go with PMC because you'll see, I would personally recommend that you bought the nicer clutch like a Clutch Master or a CT, but if you really wanted to, you could use a PMC clutch. I also bought a shifter, which was $230 US. Could you have done with the stock BMW? Probably, but I wanted to make our life a little bit easier and those shifters are really nice. I also bought the mounts that you'll need. I skipped some items that weren't really necessary, which would be $513. I hate my life. $513. Why did I buy those excessive mounts? Apparently they're the one that fits the best for S chassis and they sits the furthest back, which is a huge advantage for your weight distribution, as this engine is going to be quite more heavy than the SR20. I want to bring the weight as close to the middle as possible. And I hate my life, but this is the reality of it. If you want to build a drift car, that's what you'll need to be doing. That's the dark side that nobody talks about, is money-wise it sucks. And we're not made of money. I work my life away to be able to afford all of this. This is where our paycheck still goes. So it's a big lifestyle difference and probably most people are expecting, but this is a reality of it. Like, this is how much it costs to build a 2 JZ in this time of life. It sucks talking about money because it depresses me. Yeah, this hurts, but this is where we're at right now, and I'll try to keep a tab on it and see how much it actually costs to build it. So you can go a different route if you think of a better way. There's 1,000 better ways to do it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a pro. This is the way I'm doing it with the research that I've done and the quality of build that I want. So there's way easier ways to do it. I think that'll be it for this video. Next video I'll try to fit in, I have a spare 2JZ block, so we'll put the sump on it and attach the transmission with the adapter on it, and we'll try to fit it in with the mount that we have in the car, and we'll try to get this thing running fairly quickly. It's still October, so I parked it very in advance so we can take our time and build it properly. So see you tomorrow.